everyone, welcome back. So something very bad is going to happen. The sorry man myth explained. One of the creepiest part of something very bad is going to happen isn't just the gore or the tension. It's the chilling legend of the sorry man. At first it feels like a classic horror story, but by the end it becomes something much deeper and way more disturbing. Let's break it down. The sorry man myth is introduced early in the series, mainly through Nikki's family. It all goes back to a childhood story told by Jules, who claims he once encountered something horrifying in the woods. According to the legend, Jules ran into a terrifying man, someone with a long, dirty fingernails, a twisted appearance, and a habit of whispering, "I am sorry," while committing brutal murders. In this story, this figure kills a woman in a gruesome way, cutting her open and turning her inside out. Yeah, it's a nightmare fuel. Over time, the story evolves, it becomes less of a memory and more of a myth. The family starts treating it like a forbidden topic, while others like Portia dismiss it as just a creepy campfire tale. But the rules of the myth makes it even more unsettling. The sorry man, according to the story, can be summoned with blood, and he specifically targets brides. That detail is what makes Rachel's situation so terrifying, especially with her wedding approaching. Now here's where things get interesting. Different characters interpret the myth in different ways. Some think it's completely fake, other, like Jude, believe it so deeply that he tries to protect Rachel by creating a decoy, a disturbing doll made from her wedding dress. Rachel herself falls somewhere in the middle. She believes there's truth to the story but assumes the sorry man is just a serial killer, not something supernatural. But the truth is far more grounded and far more tragic. In a major twist, the show reveals that Sorryman isn't some monster in the woods, it's Rachel's father. But here's the key detail: he's not a serial killer. Everything about the myth has been distorted over time. So, what actually happened? The real event goes back to the day Jules ran into the wood as a child. He stumbled upon a cabin and hid under a bed while two people entered the room. From his limited view, he saw something horrifying unfold. A woman, Rachel's mother, collapsed, bleeding heavily. Then a man, Rachel's father, cut her open while repeatedly saying, "I am sorry." From a child's perspective, it looked like a murder, but that's not what it was. Rachel's mother was dying and her father was trying to save their baby. He performed an emergency C section to deliver Rachel. That's it, that's the truth behind the entire myth. But because Jules was a scared child hiding under a bed, he misunderstood what he saw. And over time, his story grew more exaggerated, more violent, more supernatural. The monster was never real, just a man in a desperate, tragic moment. And that's what makes this story so powerful. The Sorry Man isn't just a horror figure, it's a perfect example of how trauma, memory, and storytelling can twist reality into something unrecognizable. This ties directly into one of the show's biggest themes: misinterpreted fear. Throughout the series, characters who seem paranoid, like Rachel and Jules, are actually responding to something real. They don't just fully understand it. Rachel feels something is wrong but misidentifies the danger. Jules knows he saw something horrifying but misremembers what it meant, and everyone else, they dismiss it all as nonsense. In the end, the show flips the usual horror trope. It's not about a monster hiding in the woods, it's about how easily truth can be wrapped, how fear spread, how stories evolve, and how people ignore what they can't explain. And maybe the scariest part of all, the idea that something real can be dismissed as a myth until it's too late. That's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.